Welcome to Deep Thought. Plenty of islands in a sea of chaos. Plenty of islands in a sea of chaos. What do I mean? I mean a social sea of chaos. Because let's be real. There's a lot of craziness out here. You got mass shootings, racial incidents, intra-racial incidents. I'm laughing to keep from crying, but you got so much. Okay, I'm known for talking about relationships. There's definitely relationship issues. And there's some people I talk to, they'll say, hey, it's just terrible out there. It's just terrible. And yeah, we can say that. And you can say it's a lot of chaos. It's a sea of chaos, a social milieu of chaos on so many levels. But despite that, there are islands of peace, of safety out there. What do I mean by island? Like I was going to use the term bubble, but just the sound of the title. I say, sea of chaos, islands. Like, you can have a big old ocean. You got islands in the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian Ocean, every place, right? No matter what's going on, that island is still there. Now the island, what is the island? In a sea, in a social sea of chaos, there are people who are making relationships work. There are communities out there that are relatively safe. Like, let me give an example because, and this is racial. I know I have individuals who are non-black who follow this channel. And this is just an example because you can find this in any community, despite what people think. But I'm going to focus on that. There's a lot of arguments by some people, the black community's done and all of that. I always question, where do they live? Yeah, you got a lot of chaos. You got a lot of problems. But you actually still have black neighborhoods, communities, and stuff where things are peaceful. Like I'm in the state of Maryland, two of the richest black counties, majority black counties are in Maryland. Charles County, Maryland, and Prince George's County. There are sections where they are not only making money, but it's relatively peaceful. In fact, I'd never forget when I talked to a white police officer about PG County. He said, oh yeah, when it's inside the Beltway, we got to do some work. Outside the Beltway, it's very peaceful. And it's always been that way. It's always been that way. Now, nothing's totally peaceful, but very peaceful. If you expand that to the greater community, because San Diego popped in my mind. And you know what? I never pronounced that area, but it's a rich area in San Diego. And it was just totally, when I was driving out there with my buddy, it just totally looked different from a poor part of San Diego, driven through there too. It was just like, they can say what they want. Like any city, there's going to be areas, usually more financially well-off areas, but they still count, where things are going to be peaceful. It's going to be a different vibe. Those are islands. Those are islands. And if you go back to relationships in general, like there's a lot of talk about, men and women ain't getting along, regardless of the race or community. It's like, we're not doing this. It's like, hold up. There's still couples out there who are happy. There's still couples. There's still families that are very functional. There's always talk about dysfunctional families and all that, and they exist. But you got, at the same token, you have so many functional families. Functional relationships, functional families, functional communities. Indeed, the community I live in now, like overall, like the other week I talked about, I was doing a car video. There were some police lights that came up. I had to cut some of it because, the cop didn't give permission to be filmed. And, it was just about it was petty. It was petty. He thought I was watching a video. Which technically is against the law, watching a video to the point where it's distracting you. Technically. But I told him I was recording a video. I showed him the recording. But I thought about that because I was seeing some other people on that same video say, oh yeah, we've been stopped who live in the county. And I thought about it. I was like, it's peaceful to the point cops got to find stuff to do. Seriously, it's extremely peaceful. It's rare I hear an ambulance for like a cop thing. It's like a big deal when something does happen, but it's very peaceful. It ain't totally crime free because no place is totally crime free, but it's relatively peaceful, at least the part I live in. Now, a couple miles over, ain't as peaceful. Ain't as peaceful. You know, more likely for something to happen. But you still have those islands. You still gonna have peaceful areas. You still gonna have peaceful schools, no matter what. And that's across the world. I don't care where it is, what country. There are going to be areas, there's going to be people, there's going to be areas where no matter what chaos is going on, it's still peaceful. And you know, one of the things I say with that is, okay, if these people are having good relationships, let me use that relationship thing, because let's be real, that's a big deal. People talking about 304s and passport bros, all of that stuff's relationship. If in America, because most of the guys coming from the West, if in America you have men who are meeting attractive women, being in stable relationships, you know, apparently what is it that they're doing that the others aren't? You know, what is it? And, you know, some people think, well, yeah, they just get with thugs or pretty boys, but you got guys who are neither one getting in it. What are they doing? Like whenever I run into a stable couple, I always ask them. Seriously, I'll ask them. I'll be like, oh, how y'all still together? You know? I'll say it like that too. You know, everything going on, but y'all making it work, you can tell. And they'll explain it. You know, if you got the neighborhoods. You got whole neighborhoods, relatively less crime. What is it about that neighborhood? You know, you might look around and say, you know, they working hard at keeping it clean. Okay. You got a better, more professional crowd. They make more money. They can keep up better, more pride. Their behavior is different. You know, you look at, in a sea of chaos, you look at the conditions on the islands in that sea that are peaceful, and say, oh, this is a solution. And I do mean the word solution, because you get too many people saying, oh, I say, hold up. If they making it work, what are they doing to make it work? If they're in a peaceful situation, things working over there, you know, but things aren't working over here, okay, what's the difference? You know? So it's like, you know, just for relationships, for situations, economics, I think people as a group, we need to say, instead of focusing on the bad stuff, and, you know, unfortunately, and that's a whole other conversation, the bad stuff sells media, sells commercials, people making money off of it one way or the other. Focus on the good stuff. If you really want it, say, okay, what are they doing that's different? Things are working, they happy. What are they doing that's different? All right, why don't we work on trying to expand it. Expand it. You know? Like a good example is, okay, here's something. Say you got a small town, everything's peaceful. People behave a certain way. Metaphorically, expand that town. But those are the solutions. Look at what's happening on the islands. You know, what's happening in the bubbles. If it's a bubble, in fact, that's a better term to use. If everything's going well within that bubble, expand the bubble, duplicate the bubble. I want y'all to think about that, because everybody isn't suffering. Everybody isn't suffering. And you got neighborhoods very peaceful. Very peaceful. You even got neighborhoods, even in the States, you still got places where people can leave their doors unlocked, believe it or not, you know? So it's like, what are they doing? What's happening here? Let's look at the big picture. You know, if you want to know how to be a millionaire and how to behave, in fact, I'll end with this, because somebody I was doing a consultation with, he lives out in California, and, you know, he was trying to like upgrade himself. And one of the things he did, and he told me he did it, he just went out to Beverly Hills and just walked around. It gives you a perspective, you know, gives you a perspective. Okay, wow, boom, this is possible, you know. In fact, when I was out in San Diego, like I said, I can't, La Jolla, something like that. I never could pronounce that place, but it's a rich area in San Diego. You driving through, it's like, oh, this is what's possible. Okay. And people will say money. Okay, that's something to look at. It's more than money, but it plays a big part. But it's something to look at, And indeed, and this is something for my money channel, maybe we need to look at the economics behind everything. But the thing is, if you got to look at everything they're doing, even the religion practice. Seriously, you got to say, okay, why they peaceful here, but not here, So anyway, I want y'all something to think about. Think about the islands that you come across, no matter what's going on. Think about places, people who they seemingly going against the chaos, and learn from them. See what they're doing. Ask them and observe them. So anyway, that's all I have for now. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings, everyone.